camera, so sorry if you were over there and then did not have it. So hi, I'm live here. I'm live on YouTube, wherever you want. And then we, of course, also still have France-Colombia still going and finishing up there. Thoughts? Very happy with this performance. I'm thrilled with it, honestly. Would I have liked to see in an ideal world more goals in the second half? Yeah, I think we all kind of were hoping for Thailand 2.0, as somebody on the YouTube comment section put it earlier. But look, it wasn't the best low block in the world either. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you go watch, my little recap I just posted, it's an issue. Oh, it was Myra Ramirez, Sadie. Yeah, so that's not good. It was a rough. She was running step in step with Salma Basha, and she hit her. It wasn't good. So that's what happened over there. Thoughts on Corbin Albert? I didn't think it was good. I'm gonna be honest about that. Also, I think Smith is fine. I think Smith, look, you're up 3 goals. They get a red card. They're playing like a person down. You pull your players. You don't go risking anybody. Let's see. Not sure how they didn't score with them playing with 10. Yeah, so Christian, it's a kind of a funny thing. So sometimes with red cards, and again, just if you're here with me on TikTok and here with me on YouTube, I'm here both places, so I'm doing the I thing. But sometimes what happens, sometimes it's a lot easier to be compact when you have 10. I think that their defense did get better. I also think there was less motivation, frankly. You're up 3 goals. I'm sure what the kind of messaging was at halftime was, that looks great. Let's, keep it together, keep it going. But we gotta conserve. Emma Hayes did say, Emma Hayes said, I think it was either at halftime or pre-match, but at some point it was something somebody said during the broadcast, that they are going to conserve resources if they can get out ahead. So here you are, you're out ahead. They're playing a player down. They're not realistically coming back in this game. You got to conserve resources. You got to sub folks out. So, yeah, I'm really bummed Croy didn't get time. I'd really like to see Croy get minutes here. No real reason not to. She's there. She's available. She would have been a good sub for Rose Lavelle. I don't get it. But maybe it's about getting minutes for players you will have each game. I could see that kind of mindset. But it's, it wasn't, again, I would have liked to see Croy. You all know I love Croy. I just want to see Croy. Let's see. Matthew on YouTube says, I felt like they were conserving energy the second half. Riley says, why did Julie sound like she was doing ASMR? Evangelist Julie, not Judy, but yeah, it was a whole, I don't know, man. I don't know. Fox was good. I thought Fox was good. I thought Lynn looked good. I thought this was kind of a backline suited for Lynn Williams. They did not move well together. So what position was Jenna playing? I don't really know. By then it was there wasn't really much happening. So I think everybody was just kind of in there. This player's still getting a medal if they're just on the bench. Yes, Croy gets a medal. If we medal. Croy gets a medal. Let's see. Corbin was lost. I don't disagree. I checked out when Foudy started talking about line bikes. I didn't even hear that. I may have, at some point in the second half, I switched the sound. When Colombia started coming back, I switched my sound to this one. So, yeah, I thought Haran was great. I thought Haran had a great game. If Mal is back, the world better be nervous. Absolutely. This was, if people don't remember just how good Mal Swanson is, Mal Swanson is incredible. So, and you saw that today. She is the key to opening up the attack. She creates. She's lethal. So she was really great. Let's see. Okay. Will Albert be dropped after the Olympics? Potentially. I don't know. I don't know what things are going on in camp. I don't know what else is happening there. I think, frankly, setting aside, the homophobic and transphobic posts and, any accountability there, she hasn't played well since it happened. Is that, some of it's been situational of where she subbed in. Some of it has been potentially impacted by fan response to her. But at the end of the day, if you're not playing well, you're not playing well. So this was weak from her a little bit. So what's the score for Colombia? It's still 3-2, but Colombia got a red card. They're down. So yeah, I don't think they're getting back in this. And now they don't have Myra Ramirez. So that's gonna be rough. But they're in an easy group, right? It's just New Zealand and then Canada, who had to spy on New Zealand. So what are the Olympic rules for red cards? Same as anything else. So the yellow card accumulation rules vary tournament to tournament. And I still can't find an answer for people who are asking me about yellow cards. I don't know what happens. But red cards, it's going to always be, you get a red card, you are going to have a suspension. Elizabeth, thank you for the rose. Appreciate you. Will Shaw be helpful for Germany if she's healthy? Potentially. I have a really hard time assessing just how good Germany is. I thought Australia looked like shit, man. I just thought Australia looked bad. If Great Britain qualified, do you think they would have gotten a medal? I think they would have been competitive for one. I would have had them on my list of folks who could win one. Let's see. U.S. women's national team talk over on YouTube says the intensity dropped when they went down to 10. We were stagnant as fuck. Everyone was standing around. No urgency. We were lucky to have German winning 1v1s. I don't disagree with that. That the urgency went down. But of course the urgency goes down. You're up 3 goals. They're down a player. They weren't threatening when they had 11 players on the field. They're not going to be threatening really now, other than, again, Barbara Banda. So was there a risk of letting them back in this game? Yeah. I mean, like, look, France let Colombia back in. They were up, 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. They went up a third, and then they, got back in, and then the red card happened, right? But realistically, like, Zambia was never getting back in this game. So some of that's energy conservation, and I know, like, everybody wants to see a team go out hard the whole time. Like, I think I would have been more satisfied too, because it feels very anticlimactic. But, like, energetically, like, that shit can pull you down, and, like, also it's okay to conserve energy a little bit. So, yeah, Christina, I don't care that they chilled out. I mean, I was bored, but I don't really care. I'm okay. All right, let's see. Christian, Sonnet pushed Coffee out of her defensive position, but respectfully so. Fair. Let's see. Little disappointed by Lynn, but Corbin looked horrible. So many turnovers. Yeah, I mean, I thought Lynn was fine. I think she had a few, like, sloppy touches here and there, but I think Lynn is so good at stretching defenses, and I know she's, like, the all-time scorer in the NWSL, so you want goals. So it's disappointing, certainly, when, like, the touches aren't there in the box. But, she's, for me, like, her biggest impact, and often what I want the biggest impact for a 9 to be when you're dealing with a low block is that they're pulling and they can stretch the defense and move them places. So, and I thought she did that. Let's see. I would like to see Croy submit. Everybody would have liked to see Croy. Everybody would have liked to see Croy. I really would have. Let's see. Somebody asked, was Australians' problem structure or play? Australia's problem, they just look gassed. Like, it's not even a tactical thing. Like, they looked tired. Like, I was on a red eye last night. They looked like they might have been on that flight with me. Like, it's not, they did not look good. Okay. They're seriously okay with winning 3-0. Goal difference is going to matter. I mean, it could, you're right. But, like, and it absolutely could. But I think you just got to, like, get things done, right? Like, ultimately, while goal differential matters, the majority of teams are going to get out of the group. Energy conservation and making sure that you manage minutes of these players is how you win this tournament. So it requires a lot of players in a very short duration. Goal differential really only is going to matter in getting out of the group if you are in third. And if you're winning here, your odds of being in third are low. So I really have no issue with it personally. Does it mean you might have to play a first place finisher out of a group? Sure. But guess what? All the teams here are good. I don't think there's any market advantage with being a first place finisher or a third place finisher, because, like, what who'd you rather play, France or Colombia? Right? And, like, they could very well be first and third in that group, advancing out. Do you want to play Brazil or Japan? Not going to be good either. So I'm not super concerned. You just gotta. This is Raider Nation. Just win, baby. That's the motto for this tournament. Thoughts on Lavelle's exit? Are we nervous? No. I'm not anymore. Okay, actually, let me back up. I'm not any more nervous than I normally am when we talk Rose Lavelle, right? I call her Rose Glass Lavelle for a reason. So let's see. 1-2, you avoid France, Spain to the final. Third, you don't. I mean, you might, but let's see. France almost had Colombia come back on them. Spain, looked good, not great. I think Spain looked beatable. I think it's very possible Spain drops a game to Brazil. So you don't really know, like, what is going to happen. I don't think that those are guaranteed 1 spots. I would say France is the 1 spot I feel the best about. I think France is likely to win that group. That's probably the first place finish I feel like strongest about. But you just got to get out of the group. Just got to get out of the group. Who would be your backup 9? Well, I mean, it's Lynn Williams here. That's who it is. So my ideal backup 9. That's hard. I mean, I think Ashley Hatch has been kind of robbed personally. So I think she should have more time. Do you think Australia could come back from today's game? Absolutely. Because they looked so tired. I have to imagine they were sick or something. It does not seem to me like it just wasn't them. Because it wasn't a tactical issue. It wasn't like something was like, because you can see when things get bottlenecked, every single player on that team was a step off today. So like, it would not surprise me if we learned they had like food poisoning. It would not surprise me if we learned something just else. Everybody was completely gassed. Their liveliest moment of the game came after halftime for like that 10-minute stretch where it looked a little bit better. That tells me you're gassed because you look better when you got a little rest. So yeah, Cootie Cross was their best player. She was the only one, like the things were effective from her, but not much. Okay, let's see. I'm also gassed. Yeah. Hey, Caitlin. I'm like, let's see. Okay, I'm going to check on YouTube. Group B will more than likely come down to the final day. I think all the groups are going to come down to the final day. It's going to be tight. So we'll see. Most disappointing players so far, best so far. Mal Swanson has been great. Thought that she was outstanding. I thought Crystal Dunn actually had a pretty good game that we haven't really talked about as much. I thought Crystal Dunn just did a good job of both getting involved in the attack and covering back. She was a standout for me. I thought Lindsay Horan had a good game. Players who didn't, it's really, I thought Corbin Albert was noticeably not as strong in the midfield. I think I can understand what people are saying about Lynn. I don't personally feel that way. But I can certainly understand that perspective because the touches were just not there. I thought Trin had a good game too, and I'm happy to see Trin and Lindsay getting rest because they don't often. Do you think Dunn deserves to start over Niswanger? For me, that's a situational case. I think it just depends on who you're playing. And I do think probably, let's see. I think the next two games, I'd probably go Niswanger over Dunn. I could see starting Dunn, but I might go Niswanger on the next two just to see. Let's see. Yeah, Trinity Robbins' work rate is insane. Same starting lineup next game? I think so. I think you're going to probably start with this lineup. Or Niswanger. That's kind of the one thing I think you could do different potentially to start. But yeah, thoughts on Rose. I thought Rose played well. I think kind of underrated when I went back and because I was clipping some little things for the video I posted. And when I went back, I was like more impressed with her when I watched it back. So I actually thought that Rose and Lindsay, it was working better. Again, the Zambia low block is bad. Can we just, I got to just say that again. This was not a low block that was holding up well. And I don't know. And it's probably looked worse than it was because our runs were effective, right? Like those Mal Swanson runs, like the one I clipped, are very effective at pulling defenders out of position if you have a low block that's not strong. So, but yeah, so I don't know if that means that Haran and Lavelle, we figured it out and they're going to work well together now, or if it's just that Zambia had some struggles there. I think Sophia Smith's injury is her being cautious. I think they're all being cautious. Am I worried about Trinity already being on a yellow? No. I'm not. I have to look at the yellow card accumulation rules. It would not surprise me if they're generous here because of the limited roster size. Because if you're only going to give people 18 players, like to make folks sit out due to yellow card accumulation is pretty brutal. So, do I agree Lynn's spot should have gone to Alex Morgan? I don't know if I'd say should have. I think I think so. I don't think you could have put Alex Morgan as an alternate. Said that before. I just think a player of her caliber asking her to be an alternate is kind of brutal and cruel, frankly. So from that sense, once she wasn't an alternate, she's not going to be then kind of first person up when somebody gets injured to come into the roster. So I don't know if I think she should be because like we didn't know, that you were going to have those issues with Kat Macario's knee. So let's see. Fox was fine today. Good even. She made a lot of late runs. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I thought Emily Fox was it's probably one more if when I go watch this back, I'll feel differently as well. Because she didn't stand out to me in it, but I can see what you mean. Let's see. Kat's fine, right? Just being cautious. Fine and fine, right? Like she's not here, so she's obviously not fine. Do I think she's about to go sit out another year? No, of course not. Carrie, thank you for the donuts. Appreciate you. I like donuts. That's good. Let's see. I think the first half was solid. We need to work on finishing so badly. I think the first half was very solid. I think, honestly, the second half is more of an energetic thing. What do we think about coffee? I like coffee. I'm just kidding. But sorry, that was cheesy. Yeah, no, I mean, I like Sam Coffey. I think she's the best answer at that position. Wasn't a game today where for me she was a standout, but I didn't have an issue with how she played. Let's see. Germany will play straight up. Absolutely. Yeah. No. I wish Den would get the captain armband when Haran is off. Yeah, I'm sure she will at some point. Let's see. Against Germany and Australia, they cannot be wasting golden opportunities. Yeah. I mean, anytime anybody says something like that, I can just hear my dad being like, you've got to make good decisions, like not in a soccer context, just like a life context. And I'm like, okay, boomer. So I just, it's like, of course they do. Like they know this, right? Like, I don't know, whenever we talk about finishing and it's like the finishing has to be better. And I'm like, no shit. Like people know that. So who in the German team am I most worried about? I'm worried about the set pieces. I'm worried about the set pieces defensively. But again, you saw it with Australia today. So go drill it. Go drill it. Let's see. Do you think the Olympics will question the need for players like Sonnet, Kruger, and Dunn? So, I mean, I think post-Olympics that those are all players, like nobody likes when I say this, but players on the wrong side of 30. So I think those are players that probably situationally are not involved in the World Cup plans or shouldn't be anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with those players who perhaps are still a fit for our team right now, but are not for the World Cup, because there's not really there'll probably be a Gold Cup, but there's not really anything between now and the World Cup that's of significance. So you want to start developing the rest of the pool so we don't end up in the boat we were in last World Cup. Let's see. Thoughts on France, Colombia. So I didn't get to watch most of it because I was pretty focused in on our game. But a little surprised France let him back in. Katoto's scary. Katoto is scary. Just very good. She's good. So, and I think Colombia's in trouble with no Mayra Ramirez. So, Shaw gets a medal, right? Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't think she does actually, if she were to not return to the roster, but I think she's game to game. I think she'll be back. Let's see. Scariest team so far? It might. I mean, it's Germany. Germany makes me nervous. I think it was bad Australia, but I could be wrong. They could have made Australia look like that. I don't think so, but that could be. I think France is. I think France is the strongest starting 11. I haven't watched much of their match because of ours, but from what I have seen, I think that bears out. Brazil, I thought looked pretty good today. Brazil's midfield, it was always going to be for me either this takes off and is incredible, or it's a rough go, and they look pretty good. So we'll see. We were scared. Yeah, we were scared. We were the scariest team in the first half. I don't disagree with that, but again, Zambia's low block was iffy. Do you think we beat Germany after looking at today's performance? I think it's going to be. I think we got to go work on defending set pieces, and I think that will probably be a fairly fun match. But I don't know. I've seen so many different German teams at this point. The German team I saw today, I have not seen that German team in over a year, maybe 2. I don't think I've seen that German team that we saw today since the Euros. I haven't seen them. So do they show up on Sunday, or are we going to get who they played against? Are we going to get Iceland, Germany? Who are we going to get, right? Because I have not seen Germany look dominant in 3 years. So, or 2 years, I guess, 2 years, 2022. Yeah. What do you think about the stat about not finishing direct set pieces? It's concerning, and I think it goes away if Kat Macario is here. I don't understand. There's so many very good players, and Kat Macario seems to be the only one that is good at set pieces. I do not understand. Because also just as a player, set pieces are, I think they're a fun thing to get good at. They're a thing that you can practice without it being too difficult. I don't know. There's a lot of repetition. It's kind of fun. Or at least I thought so. So I don't know. I don't understand why we have this much difficulty. I thought Sophia Smith looked good, and I think she's probably not that injured. So let's see. We need Jenna taking corners. I would support Jenna taking corners if she's in. Was Spain good or did Japan play poorly? I think Japan is not as good as you think Japan is, and I think Spain is also not as good as you think Spain is. I think they're both, this Japan is not the Japan from last World Cup. This is a Spanish team that is just growing into the tournament and is getting done what needs to get done. Chanel, thank you for the rose. I think we subbed too soon. No. Set pieces are fun, spoken like a true Swede. It's a national pastime for us at this point. Who would our center back substitutes be if needed? That is a Emily Sonnet subs in there situation. So you don't really want to lose more than one because you can put Casey Kruger there as well. Germany's a concern on Sunday. What are we going to do differently against Germany? I think that the game flow will suit us more and suit what we like to do more. I think that between now and then, you're going to go drill set pieces. You just are, because that's how Australia had a bad time. So let's see. Australia clearly needed more competitive games pre-Olympics, benefit of new Euro qualifying formula. Yeah, that's going to be a problem a lot of us face. But I also think Australia, I think these players have been, I think all of them have just been overrun this whole year. I think they've gone way too hard to way too many things. They've been flying all over the place, be it for club or country. And they were always going to run out of gas at some point. And unfortunately, they're doing it at the Olympics because they just look tired. There's nothing else to say there. Sometimes you look tired, and they look very, very tired. So can they turn it around? I don't know. I genuinely don't. But, they get to play Zambia next, who I think they should beat pretty handedly. I think I don't think I was not impressed. Barbara Bond is going to get some goals, but I was not really impressed with Zambia. So we'll see. But I'm worried for Australia. I think they may have just run out of steam. I think we play with a 3-back at any point, not this tournament. I will be surprised. In possession, sure, but not we're not going to play a proper 3-back now. I'd be surprised. Could we petition to get ESPN to let you commentate games? Well, they don't have the broadcast rights for this one, but yeah, I don't see that happening for me. Do I think Croy will get minutes? I would have liked to see Croy get minutes here, but the thing is, these are swaps on a game-by-game basis. So if Jaden is healthy again, Croy's got to come back. So, thoughts on France? I think France looks good. I don't think they should have let Colombia back in the game. I have to, again, candidly go back and watch more of that because I did not watch that one closely since US was playing. So I need to go back and watch that again. But I think France is the strongest starting 11 in the tournament. Let's see. Did USA win? Yes. 3-0. It was great. It was so fun for the first half. Let's see. Still shocked Zambia ran Bonda and a lost cause all 90. I do not disagree with that either. I genuinely don't. I almost don't know if the hope was, because there were moments that made me nervous about this. I don't know if the hope was runner and hope that we get cards and then we have a harder time in our other matches and then that opens up a path for them. I don't know if that was the logic. That seems that's a stretch. But I got nervous for Naomi and Tierra Davidson a little bit. Let's see. First half was good. Second half, I wanted to sleep. Yeah, same. I midway through the second half switched to France Colombia on my audio. Let's see. It was 3-2 France. Yeah, so France went up 3 goals. And then Colombia was coming back. And then Mara Ramirez got a red card. And then it was pretty much done. So, who's the youngest player on the roster, including alternates? Ooh, Jaden Shaw, it has to be, I think. Let's see. I think our backline played good defending counterattacks. I thought the backline was fine. I didn't have an issue with the backline. I thought they did a pretty good job dealing with what is not always an easy. You've got, a very dynamic attacker and who can absolutely make something on her own. And it's sometimes when you're a defender, and you're in it, it's kind of easier to stay in it, right? But you're the stop-start, you're basically out of the match, and then all of a sudden you need to make a tackle for your life. That can be a really, really hard game as a defender. And I thought both Naomi Girma and Tierna Davidson did well with that. Stop playing Haran at the 10. We have Croy right there. Yeah, but she's not on the roster. She's not legitimately on the roster. Today was just as an alternate. So let's see. I think we experimented a bit and took out our starting forwards. So look, this is all about load management. This is not, again, this is a really challenging tournament from a load management perspective because of how many matches you're requiring, this few players to play. So, you got to take rest and rest who you can when you can. I was really glad to see players that we historically are putting a lot of minutes on get breaks today. So I was so glad to see Haran and Trinity Rodman get subbed out. I was thrilled because they don't get subbed out that often. So when do we play Sunday? We play at noon again. Noon West Coast, 3 p.m. East Coast. Do I think we'll beat France? Depends when we play them. I think France is going to have a harder time as this tournament goes on because their starting 11 is fantastic. The others are not. There is a big drop off. So if they can keep all 11 cooking, they're going to be very hard to beat. If they can't, yeah. Thoughts on Canada's win? I don't think New Zealand really threatened at all. The one goal was an excellent shot off of a corner. So they didn't really need the drone, I don't think. But they, their first goal I thought was just beautiful. Really loved the team play. Just the one touch passing to make it happen was great. So yeah, it's a bummer. I also wasn't really sure what to expect from them, just given again, I don't think the players had shit to do with this drone, obviously. But you have this kind of a scandal, this kind of a thing hanging over your head. What's it going to look like when you get out on the field? Not a team that's, strangers to playing with other things going on, but, you're sitting here and you're wondering if you're going to get DQ'd from the Olympics or have to forfeit the match or anything. That's going to mess with you. So I think under the circumstances, 2-1 is fine. I don't love the odds of anybody meddling with this kind of controversy. So I don't know if I would fully keeping them in my contenders thing, but they looked like they're still going to potentially be built to go. Let's see. What's your podium picks look like long run? At this point, Spain, France, US is what I have. I think at this point, I just have I know people are all on Germany again after dismantling Australia. I have a very hard time thinking that Germany is going to show up the whole tournament. They could. I just think Australia looks so bad. I don't know how good Germany actually is, and they just haven't played like that in years. So, do you think they can get out of the group? Do you think who can get out of the group? I think the US is getting out of the group. I think Germany's getting out of the group at this point, mainly because I just think Australia is shit in the bed. So, I love Haran, but I think she'd be so much better at the 8 and the 10. I don't like her as a true 8 though either. I don't think she does. She's not really a box to box. She gets asked to do the box to box, and I don't think she does it well. I think she's a very creative runner off the ball. And people don't, when she plays in the US, when she plays with the US women's national team, people don't understand that. The people she's playing around, they don't know where she's going to go. So she looks a little bit sometimes like a chicken running around with her head cut off. But when you watch her play with Lyon, where she's got other people around her who know how to do that too, and they're all doing it together, it looks great. So, and it's getting better here because other people are learning how to play with her a little bit more like that. Let's see. What happened on the red? It was a dog so denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. Sophia Smith was in, I think. And she grabbed, just basically she was already going and took her down. So, let's see. Yeah, the free kick was good. That was a good one. That was a good favorite goal. That's probably mine as well at this point. Let's see. Yeah, Kat would have been great for set pieces. Am I concerned about their lack of production in the second half today with Zambia down to 10? No, I'm not. I think that's just an energy management thing. I would have liked to see more just for me personally, but I think for the team it makes sense. Australia's the new Sweden. What's that supposed to mean? I've never seen us look that bad at a tournament. Let's see. I think Sophia Smith is going to be fine. She was in the huddle when there was a break in the action. Yeah, I'm with everybody who thinks Sophia Smith is fine. You just are not. If you get even a little, they need everybody here to stay healthy as best they can. They are managing players. And again, load management here is the secret to success. You're up 3 goals and they're playing down a player. You can pull her and you should. So, yeah, I think she's fine. Latest in Ali Riley. So, got sent home. She's apparently dealing with a nerve issue is what we kind of know. What I also didn't make clear in my video that I've debated going back and revising is she did not pull herself. The coach medicaled her, that it was apparent she needed to go home. So, she was obviously fighting, trying to be there, but he medicaled her. So, I don't know. That's really hard. That's really hard. Let's see. Okay. So are Ferns pulling from alternates? They did pull from an alternate already, and they also got to replace their alternate because they hadn't already started. And I guess this is why Shaw was not subbed in. She was not here. So she's got a leg injury. So she was taken out of the roster for today, and Croy Bethune was on. Let's see. Oh, wow. How much power do coaches have over players? I mean, a coach can say, like, you're out. Like, the medical team and the coach can say you're out when you don't. So, but she, wanted to stay and play, but she did not. He withdrew her name from the roster. Do you think if it was up to her, she would pull back because it's an injury? But I mean, I think she would have stayed anyway. And I don't really blame her, frankly, because, like, this is her last major tournament. So I do not blame her for wanting to stay and just push through it. I suspect the injury was, one, if it's nerve stuff, like, that could be something that could impact you as, like, a general population human being later. So you don't really want to, like, do something that could make that worse. But I suspect it was impacting her enough that he wasn't going to be able to play her. And then at that point, you're wasting a spot on a very small roster. Do the U.S. has a chance on Germany? Yeah, I do. If Shaw was on the roster, would you be starting? No. Let's see. After Australia's performance today, what do they need to do to be better? They need to go to sleep. Like, seriously, they need to get, like, some fluids, some sleep. I don't know, like, maybe they need to pop some pre-workout before they go. I think that's probably doping. I don't know that that's allowed, but, like, they gotta do something because, like, they just look tired. Let's see. Still can't believe Caroline's first minutes back were in the Olympics. I was shocked. So let's see. It's the cardboard beds, I think. Riley, that could be it. I mean, they just, like I said, they looked more tired than I am, and I was on a red eye. So, goal prediction for U.S. versus Germany. I think this one's going to be high flying. I think it's going to be fun. But again, I don't know what Germany's showing up. But I think I'm thinking this is like, a 2-2, 3-2 situation if the Germany we saw today shows up. I'm not convinced they are. We still haven't conceded a goal under Emma Hayes. I didn't think we were keeping a clean sheet here. And we did. So I think our defense is probably, like, sneaky good. Just nobody's really comfortable with it. So let's see. Are Australia making out of the group? Not like this. They're not. Like, they looked bad. Okay, Germa for captain always. What do you think Jaden needs to do to make it into the starting lineup? So there's some theories that she's been dealing with a knock covertly for a while here, and that's kind of why she's not been looking as good with the U.S. Women's National Team. I think it's hard. I think ultimately she's not the preferred 10. She's, like, third down on the depth chart, third or fourth, depending on how you look at it. So, and I don't see that changing in the imminent future. I think Emma Hayes prefers Kat Macario. So if Kat Macario is healthy, I think she's the 10. You argue Horan's the 10. They kind of both play it, fluidly together. I think Rose Lavelle is really playing well right now. So assuming Rose Lavelle's healthy, then Jaden Shaw is going to be below her just at this stage. So she's young. She's got some time to develop. But let's see. Okay. I feel like our defense is just good. We barely conceded goals in the last year. That very much could be. That would not, we could actually just have a very good defense. Let's see. Thoughts on Japan, Spain? I thought Spain looked beatable, and I thought Japan didn't look as good as last year. Let's see. Everyone agrees the beds are crap, so I wouldn't be surprised. Getting emotional. It's Marta's last international tournament. I know, she's playing so well also. Like, Marta looks so good right now. I'm sitting here and I'm like, she could do 2027. Like, she looks right now like she could do 2027. Any games today that surprised me? Yeah, Germany, Australia was by far the biggest surprise. That shocked me. I do not have Germany high on any of my lists still. Again, it's very hard to say. We'll know when they play us, but Australia looked bad, like bad. So starting lineup for Sunday, I think it's going to be the same one. I think you could swap in Niswanger for Dunn, and I probably would. So we play Sunday. So noon if you're West Coast, 3 p.m. if you're East Coast. Let's see. What do I think the score will be for Canada versus France? Ooh. I do not know. All right, y'all. I need to go, so I will catch up with you all in a little bit because I have to go turn my attention elsewhere. So thank you for hanging out with me live. I will do this every single match. Not well, every U.S. Women's National Team match, not the others. But I will also have my longer form thoughts for the whole day up later. I'll probably do small snippets for TikTok as well. So just be on the lookout. They'll probably be up later tonight or early tomorrow as well. And I should have it in podcast form. So thank you again for hanging out with me, everybody. I appreciate it. And yeah, follow here, like, subscribe, whatever. It's cool. But yeah, this has been fun. I like when we get to do a happy one, right? That's good. All right, let's fucking go. Okay, and then bye, YouTube. This is fun.